Hey and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben and this is my review for Netflix's original anime series EDENS Zero. Let me know in the comments below, were you excited to watch this anime? What is your favorite Netflix original anime series? Had you heard anything about this? That's a lot of questions for me to ask you right at the beginning. Sorry, but for now, let's jump in. A young boy cut off from the world meets his friends and sets off on a hard, long journey to be reborn. That is the worst synopsis for an anime on IMDb I've read in a long time. This anime is actually a bit of a strange one. If you're a fan of Fairy Tail, you probably would have known about this anime coming out. It's from the same creator, the same writer and creator, I believe. So you probably would have been in that world understanding, like, okay, we kind of know what we're going to get with this anime. If you take Fairy Tail, magic, and then you take a space opera and you chuck the adventure in space, it's kind of what you get. And even more bizarrely is that this anime is in the same universe as Fairy Tail. In fact, in I think episode 2, if you look in the background characters, you might see a couple of characters from Fairy Tail. Keep your eyes open. But the biggest kind of knowledge that it is kind of the same realm, but kind of not, it's a bit of a weird one, is that you will see Happy. And I'll leave you to discover what it is about Happy that is in the story. Obviously, Happy is in Fairy Tail and Happy is now in this anime. So putting all that aside, is this anime any good? And I have to say, yeah, it's actually very good, but it is a grower. The first few episodes is establishing our world with our hero who wants to leave the planet that he's on. He's on a robot planet. He knows nothing about the universe. He wants to experience life. He doesn't actually want to leave. He knows nothing about the universe. And then he gets swept up in this massive adventure, learning more about the Demon King who raised him and the robots who raised him. And then as the story kind of is exposed, you are exposed to what the story is, and it builds and it builds and it builds. And I think that's a very good way to kind of establish a new universe of laws and rules that you're going to have to establish with all your new characters. A lot of the character designs are going to look like a lot of the character designs in Fairy Tail because we have that creator. There's very similar dynamics. Even some of the characters will look almost exactly like some of the characters, where you'll have to do a double take and go, but that really looks like Urza. Why is her name so similar as well? That really looks like Lucy. Why does she look so similar? I mean, there are a lot of similarities in a lot of anime, but this one, because it's Fairy Tail-esque and it's in the same kind of universe or worlds, you kind of do have to double take and going, this is messing with my mind a little bit. But apart from that, I really enjoyed it has a journey element to it. Our main protagonist wants to go and find someone called Mother. There's a big journey to it, but to be able to get there, you have to fly to outer space, to a place that is very difficult to get to. You have to have a specific type of ship. So then you have to build your team. And so we get all these new characters that are joining the team, each with different abilities. Some have ether abilities, which is their version of magic in this world. And you get to see some fantastic fights. As always, a lot of the budget is spent in the fights. In the background, there isn't a lot happening, but you do enjoy Biff, Bosh, and Bash moments because they do kind of shine a light at what they're capable of. It's very shonen, so you feel like you're immersed into the world with the action, but they do spend quite a bit of time on some of the background characters. You get to find out what makes them tick. You get to see how the crew are and where they come from. It is classic kind of tick by numbers. There's also the perviness, which I think is part and parcel with anime. I doubt we're going to get rid of that anytime soon. I know a lot of people come to expect it because the perviness seems to be a thing that goes hand in hand with anime. A lot of people don't like that anymore and feel like we should have outgrown that. That's not going to bring you joy watching this then, because there's a whole kind of story arc where women are being turned into furniture, and you can imagine what that entails, and then they have to be rescued. And so there's this whole kind of story arc that kind of elevates the perviness, but also you see what happens to those people that do those things to women. So there is a kind of retribution storyline. Also, we have our main protagonist, who is that kind of cheesy perv kid that we have. There's always one, well, there seems to be always one in most anime, squeezing women's boobs and looking up their skirts, that kind of thing. I don't know that we'll ever outgrow that. That would have to come from a culture change in the writing and then is reflected in the adaptation to the anime. So that was me kind of spinning out, going, okay, I know a few people are going to have issues because I've seen a few of the comments where people are like, why haven't we outgrown this? It's very culture specific. I didn't mind it so much because they kind of shine a line on it, and every time a character's pervy, you get bashed in the face and there's retribution immediately. Although I know you shouldn't make light of that sort of thing. But if you're watching anime, you kind of know what you're going to get. The characters in this are a lot of fun, but it does take you a while to get into the world and the universe that they've created. I think the vibrancy and the action fights are very good. I think the score is going to stick in your head, especially that theme of the opening. If you love anime, for the most part, you will watch the intro and the outro because you love the theme that they're kicking in there. So that's all part of the storyline. It's classic 25 minutes, so you know what you're going to get. You get that intro, recap, and then the next kind of episodes. What I like about this is how wild they can be. Because it's in space, you can visit so many planets that there are so many different types of cultures. It reminds me a little bit of One Piece in that way. One Piece, even though they seem to be on one planet, there are so many different cultures and peoples, and with the devil fruits that they used, it very much reminded me of One Piece in some of those storylines. There wasn't any massive emotional punches in the storylines yet, but I feel like in a few years' time we'll have a few series to go back on, and then when they start doing that stuff to characters or removing some characters or killing them off, we'll feel more because we've had a lot of backstory. But for now, it is the origins, and it feels like they've really set up the world nicely. I'm liking the characters that we've got. The team seems solid. You have the quirky one, the smart one, the ones that it like has really dark background story. You know that some of the bad guys are probably going to end up being the good guys. You know that some people aren't what they quite seem. It kind of ticks all the anime boxes. It is a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it if you love anime, if you love fairy tale. This is going to be right up your alley. Has that kind of feel that you would expect from a fairy tale storyline. You know it's going to get darker, but they've established the lore of what's going on in this world, and there's a lot to explore there. I'm looking forward to the next bunch of episodes. I hope it doesn't take too long and we don't have to wait years for the next 12, because it's painful waiting for your anime to keep coming out. I know everybody else feels the same as me. I'm going to give this a solid B+. I'm hoping that my rating will go up. It's not the best I've ever seen. It's not breaking any boundaries, but I love the animation. I like the characters. I'm very intrigued with the world. So hopefully it gets better in the next batch of episodes in Season 2. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long Tuesday.